crazy how time flies. One might wonder if my path was in the right direction. But I do believe things come to life by accident. When it remains on, sounds like it's meant to be.
Wake up, in space made when things fall apart. Get up. What matters at the end is how you left the mark. Wait up. Fire in my soul, fire in my heart. Till you see me on the other side of stars. I'm running.
Oh, the journey starts somewhere with our first step. No one's sure what lies ahead. Be bold and brave.
Stand up.
Oh, baby, rough and tough. The way we're lead somewhere.
Nothing easy, get up and go, get it, go.
Sometimes this journey is a message. Not about the destination at all. No matter how far, how you go,
How you go? Come to you, no time to waste. You gotta face it, let go, get it done. And you're dread.
When there's a beginning, there's an ending too. As we go, we come across many predicaments.
Delight lies beneath colors of life that's excellent. The pictures fade away, beauty will remain the same.
Stop living dead when your heart's beat still. No slowing down for me, I'm never gonna chill. Every low phase I ride it like a drill. Abide by the rules, but outshine and prove.
Only time will tell the magnitude of deeds. Longer we wait, may it be the sweeter gift.
Or will it? Only time will tell.
Standing by for answers. Silent is the pain.
Get up and go, get it, go.
Only from the heart one reaches to the sky. Ups and downs they go, so hands up and enjoy the ride. As you go, believe it. Not faith and yourself. Make sure of it, no regret.
What is up, everyone? Hope you're all doing fabulous today. We are just doing a little intro, obviously, with the... it's actually a cover from Persona 3. It's actually the entire voice cast got together to do a cute little cover for the opening song, and I was like, yeah, sure, we're going to play this. Heck yeah. What is up? I see Infantry is in the chat. Howdy. We have Space Cowboy. Bushi bad. What's new? Nah, you right. I just want to point out just how bad in this particular instance. Yeah, just like I said, just wanted to give credit where credit is due. This was actually on Dawn M. Bennett's channel. I actually would have had the chance to actually go meet her, but Soup in the... No Suit for You Too in the Discord was actually able to go get like some Weiss cards signed by her because she voices Aegis. I think it actually shows in a second here. Yeah, there you go. Dawn M. Bennett. And she also plays like some people, and she plays a character in Star Rail. But anyway, yeah, we are going to go ahead and jump right into this because, oh my goodness. Yeah, we had a very, very random restriction list update. Yeah, it is this. There is so much to unpack here today that I like, and obviously I also still want to go through because Weiss Tea Time does have all the stuff up for Worlds. I wanted to go through that, and we're gonna use this to also break down some stuff. Kind of like also break down some stuff for Overlord specifically through this, as well as just like some other stuff that I just thought was really neat. I figured take some time instead of recording a video. It would just be better to just do a live stream. Like it just felt like it just would work better. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do today. Yeah, restricted list update. Let's go ahead and get right into it. If anybody obviously wants to ask questions, feel free to ask. I will attempt to answer as best I can. Also, I am very, very, very much recovering from sinus issues and stuff, where my My sinuses has just been draining like all week. Sorry, I'm also trying to make certain that sound and everything is coming through. Yeah. Okay, future me. I say future me in case I edit this. Desktop audio is currently muted. So it's just my audio coming through. So, there we go. And everything's good. I actually I'm going to shrink myself real quick here. There we go. Just a little bit better there. But, let's see. Pull back up YouTube. Here we go. All right. So, we're fixing stuff on the fly here. But yeah, my sinus has been kicking my ass. So, please forgive how nasally I sound. I just can't help it today. And if I have to say, hey, hold on 1 second while I have like a sneezing fit or something, just please bear with me. Typically, if I'm recording a video or something for this, I'm able to edit all of that out and it doesn't matter. But the F it will do it live mentality here. So, as you can see by Unlimited Tab Works, there's a lot to unpack with this. So let's go ahead and get into it. With Worlds, the previous update, this is I had to pull up the older page. This went into effect right before Worlds. It was this one. This is what it was. I forgot to open up this tab. Where they had changed it from a pick 1 of 3. I believe it was pick 1 of 3. Please forgive me if I was wrong. It was all 3 of these cards on a pick 1 of 3 list. And they changed it so, oh look, we're gonna make it so the Eins is just 1 copy. Clearly, no one's gonna play this if Eins is at 1 copy. What is up, Dow? How are you doing? I hope everything's going well. Smiley face. Hell yeah. And then they're like, okay, well, instead, the choice restriction is on the advantage engines. And players went, so you're saying I can run one of my advantage engines now? So the consensus at least from the base damage Discord, if not the entire community, was, Overward got a buff with this instead of, any further, instead of an actual restriction with this going to 1 copy. And clearly, people rocked up to Worlds thinking the same exact thing. So let me see where the thing was. Even at the beginning of Worlds, they showed that Overward was the 3rd most represented deck at Worlds. And the breakdown was that there were 7 players. So 7 people out of 53. Obviously, Worlds is just going to be the people who won regionals and stuff like that. Those people are the ones who rocked up. I think it was supposed to have been, I think the numbers should have been higher, but obviously, sometimes visas, they can't get approved and stuff like that, or it just doesn't work out work-wise or whatever, and it just doesn't work out. So I'm not certain if this is exactly how many, I don't think this is exactly how many people got invites. I think it was more than this, but anyway. But 53 people rocked up, and a third of them, 7 of them had Overward because they're like, oh yeah, it got buffed. So, whoop-de-doo. So, like I said, we're obviously going to break down this a bit more and talk about this a bit more, and I'm going to bring up all that later on. But obviously, we got to talk about this because there's so many issues with this. Oh, my stars. So, and it doesn't show up here. The 1-1 is still limited to 1 copy. The 1-1 is still limited to 1 copy as of the little infographic. I forget where they changed the thing. I have it up here somewhere. I don't know. I'll pull it up later. Because it looked really weird on their website. Oh, no. It was actually on this. So actually on here, they shoved him down here, which I thought was really funny, and we have the choice restriction is updated to a pick 1 of 5. So the pick 1 of 5 now includes the 2 advantage engines, as well as they just straight up brought in the Eins level 3. And I'm like, okay, this is getting there. They decided to hit some of the utility pieces. They added in the Timid Floor Guardian Mare. So let's go ahead and talk about that one. I feel nobody needs to discuss the level 3 Eins, like what it does. The other cards, I feel we do need to put into context in terms of what role they serve. So the Timid Floor Guardian Mare, it has a climax combo. You don't play it for that. You play it for the first effect. When it's placed on stage from your hand, choose one of the following effects and perform it. either put the top card of your clock into waiting room, so extra heal, but you typically weren't healing. You were typically choosing the second effect. Your opponent chooses a climax in their waiting room, return all cards except that card from their waiting room to their deck, and shuffle their deck. For anyone who doesn't know, this is typically what is referred to as a Fumio. So, trying to put your opponent in a uncompressed deck state, and hopefully your damage sticks. So, so that getting added. At first, I looked at this and went, okay, that kind of makes sense. You kind of want to discourage their use of their extra little utility packages and stuff like that. The same thing where you try to discourage Bang Dream from using their stock swap with Buns for Luck and stuff like that. Totally fair, right? But just like Buns for Luck, there was an issue when you got to here. With the Brimming with Confidence Aura. So to discuss this one real quick, it is a promo as a 2/1 2500 backup. When you use this card's backup, you can pay the cost, which is 4 stock, and you discard a Grotesque or Nazarick character from hand. Choose one of your opponent's characters and rest it. So this is what people refer to as the tap counter. So, at first glance, this is okay, kind of cool. I think I had to double check on YouTube, make certain my face wasn't covering it up. I'm over here. At first, it's okay, wow, they're really hitting they're hitting all the defensive utility and stuff like that, right? That's step one. We're gonna come back to why this even questioning why this even happened to begin with. That's a side point. But the thing that stuck out to me the most with this list, one, obviously, we didn't expect it. It honestly surprised me, the fact that they would even do this a week before the Overlord's getting another set. I was like, damn. Okay, Bushi kind of impressing me, right? Because we all thought that, they buffed the set because of the next set coming out. They wanted to increase sales for it. But then the aura, there's an issue with this. There's an issue with this aura. And that is there's another card that does the exact same thing. Breath of Mental Manipulation aura. Same thing. 2500 backup, and it's a tap counter. It's 2 completely different cards. They're both promos, and they come from different sets. The Breath of Mental Manipulation came in the first set. I actually used to have this in the sealed pack that it came with. In the non-picture, they have both listed. Okay, here's the question. They screwed up on that. Hold on, let me find where it was. The reason I say they don't have both listed. When I reloaded this is what I mean. They can't. They keep messing up. Because if you look at this, what do you mean in the non-text version? This is what they posted. The text version does have both? Okay. It's still weird. Because even up here where they list off the codes for them and everything, they post up the Brimming with Confidence codes, and then the third code they posted right here, look where that says SP. They just copy-pasted the Overlord right there. And it's they copy-pasted the Ainz SP code. So I'm like, that's got to be it. That's got to be it. And even on their little infographic thing, they don't have both of the cards up there. Still low quality. Okay. What, me? Or I guess in general my in general my effort is always low quality, always. Because they they very much obviously on Bushi's part, it's just okay, come on. Yeah, Bushiroad isn't trying ever. It's just come on. So my thing was, because I don't go on Twitter. I don't mess with Twitter at all. I'm like, okay, either they've said elsewhere yes, it's both the money counters, or we were going to see an errata thing sometime soon, and we were going to get the same issue with Buns for Luck. And where it's both the Buns for Luck and You Can Do It bread. I realize you can't see my quotation fingers, my air quotes. but like they had to make it so both those cards were just named the same card. I'm like, okay, cool. So either we're going to get, like, I figured we're probably also going to get an errata thing later. So what you're saying, Dow, is like it says in the non-picture version. What was that, the Twitter post? Because I don't remember seeing that anywhere else. Like, it's just really funny. Like, because if they actually don't, then it's really funny, because then this is like a non-factor. It's just really, really weird. So, while you are answering that, I'm also going to pull back up the Discord, because obviously when this dropped, everybody kind of started putting their 2 cents in and everything, and I kind of agree with a lot of this as well. Because, like, this, like I said, this is just really funny, because I'm trying to find the exact thing. Also, it was in the Weiss news section. Let me see. I'm scrolling. It's all the way up here. Okay, boom. Like I said, was it actually there? Because here's the other thing. If I scroll down, at no point in here do they also, like, in the intern Kun notes, they don't say anywhere up here that it's both tap counters. Like, it's just really funny. Anyway, general chat. Like, that's whatever. Like I said, I assume that's their intention. I fully assume that's their intention. But they have to make this extremely transparent, otherwise people are going to take advantage of it. Like I said, very low quality effort. So, all right, pulling this up. For me, Discord is dead. Some API error. Oh, damn. I'm sorry. Discord do be full. Look, full restriction. Click here on your screen. Full list of restrictions. It's up here. Oh, okay. You know what? Thank you. Alrighty. Here we go. Yeah, like, if you don't, like, show some kind of infographic, I assumed that was the case, but if you don't show the infographic, like, or something up there, people typically aren't going to click on the extra thing. Okay. It is both of them up here, and like you said, they did have to, oh, wait, hold on. They still didn't get the right fucking code up here. Hold on, because which one is it? Breath of Manipulation is 62106. They still couldn't get it right. That's hilarious. They still couldn't get it right. Hold on. Wait. It's 106. Yeah, right here. 62106. Oh my god. Yeah. Technically, I'm looking for 99106. I don't see that. Anyway, I realize. So, okay, so that was the intention. Regardless, like I said, I assumed something was going to change for it. So, it is kind of funny that they don't explain that, but once again, it's kind of whatever. So, this, honestly, getting back to the initial thing. Yeah, GG Bushiro, yeah. Small indie company, by the way. Small indie company. I really hate when I go and have to point out stuff like just anything like this with Bushi. Because I don't want to hate on him. I really don't. I would much rather talk about positive things with the game. I would much rather talk positive stuff. But when you set up stuff like this for me to yap about, it's really crazy. It's just, you're trying to set me up for the alley-oop, it feels like, half the time. So let's continue further comparisons. This is a much bigger restriction than what the JP side has. Once again, talk about, like, sometimes Bushiro just does the weirdest stuff. I feel like they're hipsters when it comes to, like, especially when it comes to the Banlist stuff. This is on the JP side. This was as far back as I could find on, in terms of on their ban list. I don't think there's been another update for the JP ban list, but this went into effect back in February. I cannot talk today. Oh my goodness. I will have to call him back. I look down to see that I'm getting a phone call. I will just have to call them back. But if you look down here, oh my goodness, that is so freaking crazy. But on the JP side, they went, let's just choice restrict the level 3 Eins and the level 1 Schaltier, and just outright ban the 1/1 Eins. Like, that's what the JP is a choice of 2 and a ban of 1. A ban this one card. Instead, now a choice restriction of 5, and still a limit 1 copy of 1 card. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh my goodness. Because like, before, you were looking at this stuff like, oh, these would have still been good. In the upcoming set, okay, so I went to, literally last night, I went to record a video for the extra booster that we're getting next week. Literally next Friday. I went to record that, and I recorded my first impressions for it. And the entire time I was going, hey, let's look at cards that may actually be able to help the current Overlord deck, the current Ainz deck. Or would there be any differences? Would there be a point in trying to upgrade? Like, I tried to frame the entire thing from that point of view for the current Ainz deck. Or like, oh, maybe is there something better that people are just going to drop the current Ainz deck altogether and go to something here, which seems to be what they're hoping that you do. So, yay, that video is kind of a moot point at this point. I don't know if I even want to, like, post that one. It's kind of whatever. So, looking into, like, a lot of the stuff in here, there's still a lot of very good cards, interesting little combos and stuff like that. And there is, like, an entire, like, 8 salvage setup that you can do. Like, they have a lot of cards for that. I've seen I actually did see a couple of these before, watching one of the guys in the Discord. This hurts the other decks. Exactly. That's the point that I'm getting at. Like, I remember seeing, like, some of these other cards being used by, it was Phantom in the Discord, would show off, like, the level 1 combo and some of the other stuff. And it's just like, okay, cool. Interesting little, like, combos and everything. So I was like, okay, you could still run these and then still use the other, like, some of these other cards, some of these other utility pieces. So it's kind of one of those things of, okay, were you doing this to really, really try to, like, kill the current Ainz deck? Or is this like a preventive maintenance type thing? Like, really trying to understand where Bushi's coming from on this. So let's go back over here real quick. Let's go back over here. I'm kind of bouncing around here, but I just want to, I can never speak for them, so we have to read what they're saying. So, under Intern Kuhn's notes, despite commanding 13% of the meta at the finals event, Ainz Ulgon ultimately failed in his conquest, falling short of top 8, which is very true. Which is very, very true. Let's go back over here to Weiss Tea Time, and in the deck list. So here was the top 8, and like I said, there's obviously a bunch of stuff to go through for this, but no Overlord, obviously. If you scroll down a little bit further, I'm like 6 minutes behind on video catching up. Both tap counters are considered. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They had to update it an hour later. That's what I'm saying. The fact that they had to go, also, hi Yami. The fact that they had to go back and update means they just don't know. They don't take stuff into account. Anyway, point being, that's what I assumed, and I'm assuming maybe they're gonna, like, put out some kind of errata or something later on, so, like, kind of like Buns for Luck. Anyway, Ian Banlist team always trying to cook a meal and they just burn the kitchenette. No, you right, bro. So, we scroll down. The first Overlord deck that I say the first that we see after Swiss was actually one of the people who did show up on a feature match, which was Bean Wolf. Shoutouts. I know they're in the Base Damage Discord. Hope you're doing well, man. So that's really cool. And, like I said, obviously it was the Ainz deck. Basically every single one of them up here is the Ainz deck. And also every single one of them was running the Yuri level 2, obviously, except for one of the decks was trying to do the Shaltir engine, where it's the, you send the Vampire Bride, I think it is, from Waiting Room to deal yourself damage and you draw a card. So there was only one person on that, and I were one of the lower ones. Funny thing is, if you go all the way down to number 53 was one of the Overlord decks. They had 0 wins. I'm assuming, like, they probably lost their first 2 rounds or something, and probably just dipped. I don't know. Whatever, to each their own. You're in Japan at that point. You go frolic and have fun. I'm not going to fault anybody there. I mean, hell, I guess half the point is just being able to get over to Japan, or sponsored or whatever, like, do whatever the hell you want. So, I'm not going to complain. So all of the Overlord decks did have the same thing. And I think I'm trying to remember. I should have made notes on. Like I said, I remember Bean Wolf being one of the people that we saw up there. I want to say there was someone else we also saw on the feature matches. I just don't remember off the top of my head, and please forgive me. Also for a lot of the World stream, my brain was just dead. Like, oh my goodness, I was suffering. We ended up I ended up staying awake till like 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like, he was the only one on stream. Okay, that's what I thought. But also, my memory of that was very fuzzy, so I appreciate you. So, this is why we rely on chat to help keep us straight in these situations. So, give me one moment. Ooh. Sure, I'm going to take headphones off. Wait, I'm not even listening to anything. Why have I got my headphones on? It does help, kind of like I'm used to recording that way, where like one ear's covered, so it just kind of helps with my sound regulation. Oh, for real? Shoot, what is up, Riaz? Bro, this is what I say. My sinuses have screwed me up. Now that you say that, I do remember seeing your new channel. 1,000 freaking %, dude. Heck yes. What is up, man? I legitimately completely spaced on that. I just wasn't thinking. Heck yes. No, how is it going, my man? I do appreciate you stopping by. Hell yeah. We are graced by a 2-time world champion. Mr. Riaz. Heck yes. No, glad to see you in, my dude. I do appreciate. Oh my goodness. It is crazy. Gonna go hard this season. Heck yes. That's what I'm hoping to see, man. Go as hard as you can. Oh my goodness. Sorry, like I said, I'm trying to get everything situated here. My brain is trying to really just so much to go over here. So let me go ahead and close out some of these other tabs that I had pulled up. I said this was the ban list. So the previous one where we felt it was a buff, all that jazz. Oh my goodness. So getting back to this, it's some server issue. Oh, hey, Weiss Switch, welcome in. My Discord is down. I'm missing all my notifications. What the heck? Let's say, like, mine is currently up, and I'm able to pull up other messages and stuff. Let me see. Because all my messages are coming. I'm assuming, yeah, it's probably like a server thing going on. Well, not the base damage server. Just like Discord. No, you're right, Yami. It was a very, very long stream. Those that are open, don't close it, or it's cooked. Understood. Yeah, I'll keep mine open. Hell yeah. But yes, hello, welcome in, Weiss Switch. Hope you're doing well. Why, Discord? Why are you down? Oh, they're trying to force an update. Discord's trying to force you to install the newest Windows. No, I wasn't ignoring you. Well, I mean, I saw your message from earlier. Hold on. You sent me a message earlier. I just didn't have a chance to respond just yet. Yeah, you said, "Good day, Cade. How are you?" And I just had not responded just yet because I had other stuff going on, and I'm so sorry. I'm just horrible. I'm a horrible person. I was not ignoring, though. Oh my goodness. But understood. Thank you, Boo. I appreciate you. Oh my goodness. She will cast a spell on you. Also, once my sinuses are cleared up, we can do that stream that you had your idea for. Assuming Discord doesn't implode on itself this weekend. So getting back to this. I'm going to be real. Like obviously, oh, that's what I was going to talk about. I don't have the thing pulled back up anymore. When I was looking over this, and even back with the previous like buff that they did, like I said, I closed out of that tab, whatever. It felt like, okay, they're going to buff it for the upcoming set. And then this, I'm so sorry. I'm going to call it right now. This saying, oh, he ultimately failed in his conquest, falling short of top 8. However, we have decided to update the search list once more. This is the biggest copium I've ever seen in my life. This is such copium. Like, oh, damn. You can't just say, yeah, we screwed up giving it a buff. This is some great, like, look, I physically am not able to smell, and this stinks to me. I have never been able to smell a day in my life. Anosmia, for those who don't know what it is. And I can smell how bad this stinks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. They're like, okay, if we restrict the 1/1 to one copy, this will kill the deck. Nope. But instead of saying, hey, we realize we screwed, they do not want to admit that they screwed up, that it was a fault of their own in any shape, form, or fashion. And took some tips from Blizzard on damage. You right? Oh my god, not wrong. Like that's also very true. Next thing you know, like that's the thing. Sometimes the Intern Kun notes, like I don't mean this as a jab at Intern Kun, but half of their notes for like explaining why they do what they do feels more like gaslighting than anything to me. With the updated choice restrictions, players lose access to all of Ainz's advisors, further limiting his reign as we head into the Summerfest season. You could, like that point is like, hey, these are two really powerful pieces of tech. It might be a little strong, even in the upcoming decks or something. I don't know. Like that's, I kind of understand where they're coming from on that. Is this the right call? No, I don't think this is the right call. But I think this is just weird. That's beside the point. Like, at least if I were to try to think of it in that perspective, I could understand. Before the new set is still crazy work. Yeah, honestly. Oh my goodness. Sorry, reading. To be honest, it would be cool for trios. Yeah, I could kind of... I honestly could kind of understand that. To a degree. To a degree, I can kind of understand that. Like, taking Worlds as... like I said, taking Worlds as just the sample size is kind of, like, funky to me. Like, I instead of just outright saying, yeah, we screwed up, it should have been something else like this instead. You know what? Even without the Fumio and the tap counter hit, even if they just said, hey, yeah, we wanted to update it a little bit and we decided to add the level 3 Ainz to a pick 1 of 3 with this, and then still keep the 1/1 at 1 copy, even that would be a little more understanding. This does feel like overkill. And once again, a not wanting to admit that you buffed the deck instead of restricting it. Oh my goodness. It is kind of crazy. I mean, so while Discord is still working, I said I may just need to force an update. It may just... oh, yeah, no. Okay, so at least in the top corner of my Discord, it does say update ready. So the servers might be just trying to force install an update? I don't know. I'm not going to try to do that while I'm live streaming. I'll do that later. And then obviously, Weiss, I will message you back once I get Discord updated, assuming everything is behaving at that point. Because, yeah, I can still go into base. It still tells me who's online and who isn't. It's just kind of funky. Anyway, let's see. Let me go into... Let me look at what people had said. Obviously, people kind of agreeing, like, hey, this is not, like, a good hit. This is kind of weird. I'm trying to look at the other stuff that people pointed out. Obviously, people are like, why do this one while Oshinoko is at full power? Like, you know, Oshinoko won. That would have been understandable if, like, you know, oh, hey, we're doing this temporary hit to maybe Oshinoko or something. And even Oshinoko, I don't feel has, once again, doesn't have a big enough sample size. I feel that would have been cool to just kind of let it go. That's whatever. Let's see. They were explaining what the hits to Bang Dream. Because, yeah, Bang Dream got a quote-unquote hit. Yeah, no, like, obviously everybody was running the Fumio in Overward, but I never really saw people use it. That's the thing. At least I didn't. I'm just, whatever. Still reading. They brought up other stuff. One of the other people said, I'm no fan of this set, but but trying to kick Overlord while it's on the ground and it didn't do much at Worlds is pretty wild. I'm like, nah, you right. It does feel weird. Like, it feels like if you were prepping for the previous, like, the newer set coming up, why not just hit it a couple weeks back? Anyway. Scrolling through. Okay, and then they went into a little bit of... actually, one of the things... Weiss actually made a comment in there. It says, Oshinoko is a necessary evil that needed to get banned in this situation, but the idea of preemptively doing such a large ban before a set drops seems a bit extreme. Agreed. At the end of the day, Overlord has its main key components available to them, and good players will know the choice to make out of 5. 1,000%. Plus, the new extra booster brings like 3 different decks that you can do, if not more, depending on the combinations that you do. So, was this ban really needed? Exactly. I fully agree. And like I said, I just don't know what's going on with them. Anyway, we have so now I need to catch back up on chat. Please forgive me. Like I said, I had that pulled up. I was reading that. Is Red Irons that unplayable with this list, though? I don't think it is. I don't think it's unplayable. I think it's perfectly fine. Like, I think it's odd. Like, I think the Red Irons, at least from what I've seen, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. Is it the Shaltir Yuri y'all want from it? Like, okay, when you say y'all, I don't play the deck. I don't like the deck. So I don't care for it at all. I have been against it for a while. So I don't care for it. And every single time I hear someone go, oh, I beat an Overlord player, I go, yes, good. You keep doing that. You did a good job. I give them positive reinforcement. So, but in terms of like, or if you mean from like this, like I said, I see there's more in chat. I will work my way down. In terms of that, I don't know. Like say, what would... I mean, obviously, obviously for the current deck, you have to run the level 3. You just lose access to all 4 of these other cards. I feel you can still do stuff. I don't know. That's whatever. Weiss says, because we have such a difference in the JP ban list, I was looking forward to seeing what people would cook. Yes. Being so quick to jump on an update feels like a cover-up on their side. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They realized they screwed up. They realized, oh, damn, we buffed this shit. They were probably hoping maybe there was going to be like 1 or 2 people rock up with Overlord at Worlds just to see if they could. And then they're like, damn, this is like the 3rd highest most represented set? Yikes. Yeah. I feel like hitting a brand new deck is kind of unfair. That's just kind of to me. Yeah. Yeah, no. It's honestly unfair. Like, obviously, I don't think this is meant... How do I put this? From a business standpoint, you normally shouldn't hit a set right... You shouldn't hit cards in a set right the week before a set drops, which is all the more reason this update just kind of blindsided everybody. We're just... Huh? Wait, what? If anything, I think one of the others... Like I said, if you just kind of reneged a little bit on the choice restriction, like a little bit, and go, okay, sure, add in the Irons, we realized we screwed up and accidentally buffed them. Cool. Honestly, that would have been understandable. But to go this far, it feels like a cover-up. It's just not as good. It's still playable, but you have a lot less options. No, yeah, exactly. Like I said, and I understand, like, not having as many options does hurt. Like obviously, like, you know, because, I mean, these are still used, clearly. New deck Oshinoko after trios, that's when it should be. Exactly. And even if it was like midway into trios, if it was like, if everybody and their mother was like one of the 3 decks on every single team was Oshinoko, was Overlord, was still Bang Dream or something of that nature, then you could address those if it's really, really rampant. But no. And we probably still will see something at least by the end of trios. R.I.P. Ayame being banned before she even hit the English release. The whole interaction, I agree with you. That was honestly one of the funniest things ever. What's even funnier is that escaped the JP bros for so long. Like that kind of got, but this is like why exactly. The Ayame thing was obviously another issue altogether due to the fact of it is like that combo, that whole interaction with the being able to be summoned during the battle phase, just completely like all the JP players missed it. It was one of the English guys over here. So I know his name and I can't think of it off the top of my head. And I'm so sorry. Shout outs to the dude. He discovered it like a couple weeks before Volume 2 dropped. And everyone was just like, oh, scramble to get your generic +2 souls. It wasn't an infinite loop with the Ayame. I guess I can go into a bit more discussion about that one day just to explain a little bit more. The Ayame, though, it was basically a way that you could get 6 attacks off at level 1. And just, your opponent was just like, oh, cool, I'm now level 3, I don't have any of my resources. And then even though you would extend so much from hand to pull it off, you just recovered your hand by the time you got to level 3 and could just do it again. I think the issue is that they want players to take Weiss serious. If they want to take Weiss serious, they need to start taking their own shit serious. And want it to grow, they need to be a little bit more transparent. Yes. No. Very much so. If they want people to take it seriously, yeah, Cats wishes it could have done this stuff. Imagine all the... And here's the thing, Yami, I'll get back to what Dow said. They would purposely drop a +2 soul and do that combo. And go, cool, I go, here, +2 soul, because that's the +2 soul still affects new cards that enter. You would absolutely be like, Cats wishes it could do that. You're 1,000% correct. So, anyway. No. That is the key point, Dow. I fully agree with you. If they want people to take Weiss seriously, they need to take it seriously. 1,000%. Forever and a day, I've complained that it feels like Weiss is the redheaded stepchild of all the Bushiroad card games. And I really hate saying that. I do fully believe there's people in the company that do care. Like, clearly, I mean, especially if it's their livelihood, they do care. In terms of, hey, they got to care about the game because, it's their job type deal. But they don't want to be transparent. That's the crazy thing. If this was a situation of, hey, we screwed up, we're trying to rectify that, that's cool. Just say that. How do I put this? There are times in life where you there's a saying over here for people who don't know this. A saying. There's probably another saying like maybe over in the UK or something. There's sometimes you have to eat crow. That term means sometimes you got to do something you really don't want to do, and that's me very, very much paraphrasing it. And Bushi does not want to do that. They do not want to be transparent, and it is wild to me. It is very, very wild to me. In terms of that, even in previous updates to the restriction stuff, when they would have the little notes on stuff and everything. Here, let me actually, I can go back and pull it up. I should do a different thing. I should do that. Pull up another tab. When they were going through in the previous restricted update, did they take it down? No, okay. I was to say, wait, how far down was it? I do see your message. I'll read it in just a second. When I typically go through this, it feels more... I mean, I like the funnies. I like the ha-has. Believe me. Eat a frog? I've never heard that before. I like that, though. I kind of like that better than eat crow? I don't know. Well, it's whatever. Us Americans using the same phrase, just changing it up. There you go. This feels more like, oh yeah, we were just trying to go for the funnies instead of actually say hey, we realize this is an issue. I don't know. It's kind of fun. It's kind of funky. Even with here, every time I read their notes on why we do what we do, it doesn't feel like it's actually notes of explaining their reasoning. It's usually comes down to, we're keeping an eye on it. And that's what... It says... I'm trying to find the exact thing. Okay, so right here. We hope this change reduces the overall consistency of the deck by making it harder to set up. it made it easier to set up. Like it like is the exact opposite. Like no. I'm trying to remember the exact thing. Like, okay, right here where it says we've added a new card to the existing choice restriction for Hololive to try to reduce the deck's ability to cycle through bad deck states. That's kind of an understandable explanation. They typically don't say that. So, okay, you know what? I was wrong on that one. So, in previous ones, though, it does feel like it's just, I guess with the Alice one here, like the Alice change should have just already matched the Japanese one. That's kind of whatever. Well, I do feel a lot of the articles in Banlist previously have been on the playful side on this occasion. Just be honest and be like, whoops, we didn't realize we screwed up. Would be appreciated. Exactly. I don't mind the haha funnies. The haha funnies is still very good. 1,000%. Sadly, copy JP is probs for the best most of the time, and JP, up to you, simply just don't do it. I sometimes wonder, have these guys themselves played the deck to be able to identify the problematic cards, or they just solely go by what they see? So, I mean, obviously, you do, like, obviously people would have to understand the interactions. Like, I do agree with you on that. So, remember when they said, yeah, Eminence would rival Oshinoko? Did they really try to say that? Like, was that on the live stream? Like, it went, I'm not trying to say show me the receipts, but I really don't remember that ever being said. I totally believe you, though. That's just, if they tried to make that claim, that's insane. God, that did not happen. Hell, there wasn't a single Eminence deck at Worlds anyway. That's whatever. God. It was on, okay, no wonder. I don't do Twitter, so that makes a lot more sense. That's a wilder claim for Twitter. Like, oh my goodness. Anyway, my brain is just so fried from this. This was very much a. This is very much just not necessary. It's whatever. I don't make the calls. It's kind of funky. Like, okay. Going back to what I had said earlier, to kind of follow up with what Yami said, though, about copying JP for sometimes, for the ban list, for the most part, is probably the best to go with. And to a degree, I will agree with you. Now, I am not trying to defend Bushi in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm just saying sometimes I can put myself in other people's shoes, which doesn't seem very likely considering my shoe size is 16. I don't know what that is for UK, but just put it bluntly, I have big feet. Sometimes they don't fit in shoes. Anyway, point being, so as I stated before, they always feel very hipsterish, like they clearly don't want to copy it. So in my rip, Eminence so bad, right? Bjorn Wolf. I was like, wait, is that Beanwolf or what else? Let's see, Bjorn. No, it is RN. RIP. So I try to put myself in their shoes when I think, okay, why would we choose to pick something else? Why would we try to follow a different ban list? And so I almost want to say the reasoning behind that, and this account is beyond. Oh yes, you're good. I would almost say the reasoning behind that is that they don't want people to automatically assume, oh, I think it's a thing to keep people from not buying product. So I'm just going to take an example. I'm trying to think. Say there's already a set in, oh my goodness, Firefox be trying to be like, here, also download updates. Say a set comes out in JP and it's really powerful. There's a really big meta deck for it or two, and there's like a couple hits on a ban list. If English knows that deck is going to get hit, or they know that set is like, oh, if they know, hey, if people make the same decks, we're going to get the same hits. I can see where that would discourage people from buying that new set. So I would almost think that the being hipsterish on not always trying to copy the ban list, like trying to go, oh, let's do something different. I would almost say that's to make a precedent that they don't want to copy the Japanese ban list, so that people don't follow the precedent of, let me wait and see if this gets banned in JP first, because it'll probably also get banned in English. Let me hold off on this set and then not buy product. I would almost question if that's the reason. I have no proof for this, obviously, because once again, I do not rep them. I do not think any shape, form, or fashion that like is the reason. I'm just trying to think of a possible reason. I think English meta is different. And no, I do agree that English meta is very different. The difference in Banlist is warranted. It depends on the set. If it because let me finish reading the thing first before I start yapping. We have sets that they don't, and vice versa, so they need to accommodate for those differences. I will agree with you on that, and that's understandable. It's because I do feel it's like a set by set basis. So why Nikkei is still not being hit. No, I'm going to disagree with you on that because Nikkei's not getting hit because they have a volume 2 coming out. That's my. You're probably correct on that though. In terms of like maybe on the JP side, they're like, oh, we don't see it as a threat in JP. Like that's totally fair. But it also does affect sales if they hit it. Like, once 1,000%. So, I feel that's the case. I'm trying to think of a good example. I'm going to go to SAO. Let's pull up the restricted. Do I still have the thing? Because they did copy this. Where are you at? Okay. Over here on, which these got taken off. Hey, why are you going so far over? Technical difficulties. Okay, that is just so zoomed in. Can I zoom out a little bit on this? Okay. Man figures out how to use computer for the first time, clearly. Nikkei still doesn't have a lot of results. So I have numbers, being Wolf, to prove you wrong on that one as well. I'll get to that though, because once I start going over the sets and once we start actually going to the worlds breakdown for the decks and everything, I have a counter argument to that. Like Nikkei does have results. It's just once again, anyway. So point being, I feel SAO is the biggest argument to. Or is the biggest saying in favor of copying JP. I feel that's the biggest in favor of copying JP as a good example. Because, we see that, being able to summon out three level 2 Alices at level 1 is a fucking problem. Instead, we go, okay, cool. Instead of just hitting the level 1 Alice, which they now copied, let's just limit the level 2 to 2 copies. People still play. You can still play the deck, and nobody played it. It died immediately. Like, it doesn't have a lot of tops. Very poor convert. Once again, I have the numbers. Maybe not compared to a whole bunch of other stuff, but I have numbers for stuff. So, and I'm probably gonna end up just go ahead and give spoilers here. I'm probably gonna try playing Nikkei. For like some stuff. I'm just saying. I already had other Nikkei decks before. Like, because I actually liked the set and wanted to mess with it a little bit. I'm probably going to be messing with it more for like teams and trios and shit. Okay, it has the numbers for real. We've seen exactly. Yami knows. I'm looking at Weiss time right now. There's no other 1 to 4th. You're looking at 1 to 4th places. Hold on. Like I said, I'll take a look. I've pulled up stuff because I compared Nikkei to. No, also, what do you mean? No, it won multiple times. There's multiple regionals where Nikkei won. What are you talking about? What? Like, hold on. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and skip right to this. So, okay, let me finish my point. To finish my point, to go ahead and talk about what Weiss had said. I do fully agree with it being a different. Like, with English being a different environment, I can understand the ban list being different on a set-by-set basis. There are certain times where I feel they should just straight copy the JP ban list, and there's certain times, I can understand where you're coming from. It needs to be the same thing. So, here... Also, you can't just look at just NA. Like, you can't just look at North America. You got to look at the whole picture. So, hold on. Let me pull up this. Nikkei rep... And
The other one that I wanted to point out specifically, there was another hit they did a while back, and with the other previous Banlist update, and that was Hololive getting more restrictions. And people will and once again, I'm going to show the numbers. I'm going to rehash the thing that I said before Worlds. Hololive is getting hits, and people are like, oh, you know, and there are a lot of Hololive decks that top. There's a lot of Hololive decks that have definitely gotten very high for the 8 standby variants and everything. A lot of representation. In fact, I can tell you exactly how much representation there was across all the decks that played in terms of, and this is across all regions. I never just look at NA. Did people even bring Hololive's World? There was one deck. To go ahead and show you that. There was a singular Hololive deck. Just saying. Singular Hololive deck. And let's see what it was. It was 8 standby Oski Polka. Totally fair. But also, you know, it was Johnny. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Shoutouts to Johnny. I don't even know you, I'm going to be honest. But it's kind of funky. Also, there's Ryushin. What is up? He was on Overlord. Who'da thunk? Previous world champion on Overlord. Interesting how that works out. Which actually, I'm going to update. I wanted to add the numbers where I did a comparison of Hololive getting hit versus Nikke not getting touched. Instead, Nikke was down here at the bottom on the watch list. Totally fair. Totally fair. Then I'd say the hit worked unironically. Yes and no. Like, is it a thing of, oh, I'm going to not play Hololive because of the quote-unquote hits to it? Or am I going to look, or am I going to go, I think Oshinoko that is unrestricted is a better deck to play. I don't know. It's a very, like, obviously I didn't go to Worlds, so I don't know what the call is on that. It could possibly have worked. So, very fair point. He had a bad time. Oh, damn. I'm sorry, Johnny had a bad time. So, I mean, that's the thing. You can't look at just... Sorry, I'm going back up the thing. It has a huge representation. That's the thing being. And I don't think we can just look at North America. I do try to take it with a grain of salt because I do know that over in the UK, over in the other regionals, that there are restrictions on certain other sets, and including sometimes there's restrictions on what Hololive sets can be run. So I do try to take that into consideration, but I don't feel that the North America results are the end all be all either. I feel you do have to look at it through the entire thing, especially for, if I'm not mistaken, for Nikke, there was no restrictions anywhere. I may be misremembering. Maybe there's a random freaking 13-person regional somewhere that it just, it said, oh, sorry, you can't run Nikke. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't really look closely at tournaments with less than 64 entrants. Then you can't look at Worlds because it had less than 64 entrants. I mean, to counter your thing, then we don't count Worlds because it was 53 people. So, I mean, but I realize that's Worlds, that's not regionals. I'm sorry, I'm being an ass. But, so, yes and no, it just, yeah, I mean, that's also a problem. Exactly. I know they only said it was supposed to be like 60-something people to show up for Worlds anyway. So, if only there were some kind of trios topping or what, you right. That they retracted. Oh my goodness. So to show this stuff. So once again, going back to my previous point, Hololive has a ton of different decks, a ton of different ones. Both, obviously there's still 13 8 standby variants that topped, and yes, I'm counting the entirety of topping, whatever the top cut was. Whether that was top 8, whether that was top 16, I counted it. And I counted how many decks won regionals. And anything else, obviously, I just kind of put under a blanket 15. Then if you look at Nikke, so Hololive got hit. Nikke had 22 instead of 13 for the 8 standby variants, 22, and there was multiple wins. Not just tops, but multiple wins. And look at Nikkei won Rosemont. There's your NA. 1,000%. So what do I play in 3v3 in Long Beach? Yeah, right, Manny. Also, hi, Manny. How you doing? Hololive has some you probably haven't enough thought of. Exactly. There's so many different Hololive decks that could be shown. Yeah, that was me. That was you. There you go. So what I'm hearing is you just don't want them to hit Nikkei so you can keep playing. No, I'm just messing with you, dude. Totally fair. Forgive me 1 second. I have to cough. Slowly dying here, but I'm good. We're good. So in terms of like what they're looking at, and I also have a funny point for that. Like people like they hit stuff that doesn't need to be hit, and then they don't hit stuff that I do feel needs to be hit. But once again, they're not going to hit Nikkei because there's a Volume 2 coming out. Trios meta, Oshi, Bang Dream, Uma. You know what? I would honestly love to see Uma as that third pick. 1,000%. Oshi no Ko around, it's a lot more rough to run the deck. Probably better for trios with Overlord lessened now. Maybe so. I can agree. Yeah, as long as Overlord gets lessened for it, like I'm honestly totally okay with that. My brain. I was going to make a point. Brain. I cannot think. And no, that's the thing. Like, here's the other thing. Why switch? I don't know if we're gonna. I think they just don't want to make any more Hololive sets for Weiss, because they just want you to go over to the official Hololive card game, which is kind of understandable. If you looked at the Nikkei topping builds, it's a copy pasta. Exactly. That's the thing. It's all the minus. There was one, to be completely fair. There was one non-Modernia biscuit. They will never, yeah, exactly. And it's just the same exact build, not touched. Like 1,000%. And you know, I'm going to update each of these lists from the Worlds stuff. Because another one of the big things, here's another interesting thing. Like I said, if it's not a sales thing, up here, when they showed the top 4, they listed Nikkei as one of the decks. That was, oh, hey, this is the 4th highest represented deck. Now you see that number of 6% here? If we scroll down here, Nikkei, 3 decks. So I'm gonna add a quick little number of decks played. I'm gonna add that 3 from Worlds specifically to this. So that puts the number at 221. So just want to add that real quick. And I'm gonna add the No, I'm just gonna add that as because no Nikkei deck's topped. I can't add that to the thing. So in terms of like the top cut, but also having exactly 3 decks was Leica Rico, and it had 6. It was 6%. So both of these were 6% of the of the representation, but they chose Nikkei to show. Once again, they want to be like, oh, hey, look, see how many people are playing this? You should play this too. It's a sales thing. 1,000%. Rara for Weiss. Amen, Joker. You are so true. God, I would love to have Advent and Justice in there. Not sure about Hololive OCG point. So much art they could recycle in Weiss. I mean, they already recycled 90% of the Hololive OCG art from Weiss anyway. Like, yeah, they could. It depends. It really just depends. Hololive has a lot more ways it can go with making competent decks for a regional. Agreed. I don't think Nikkei's limited, though. I don't think Nikkei's limited in what's competitively viable. Bunny's builds are consistent AF, so this tracks. Sorry, I said consistent. Are inconsistent AF. Counter argument, forgive me for being silly. Not too familiar how important is Biscuit in that deck, or they just use it because it's a standby trick. They honestly are just using it like they don't use Biscuit that much. Like honestly, let's go ahead and pull that up. Like to completely honestly, I agree with you in that regard, because I can click on any of these and it's really not going to matter. It's going to be the same result. Literally because all of them were very, very copy pasta. They all ran one singular copy of Biscuit. It's not the Climax combo. It's more the fact of it's just using a standby. But this is the better option for standby because the other one is a level 0 that can whiff. It's a when the standby gets played, you can bounce it back to hand, which does open up a back lane, which is kind of cool, but you would much rather use the level 0 Rapi anyway. It's just infinitely better. And then you top check, and if it's a Nikke, add it to hand. So that can whiff. I think it was just if it was Nikke. I don't think it had a level restriction. I think it was just top check, reveal Nikke. So by comparison, the level 3 Biscuit's better to run. But like, if there's a better one that comes out in Volume 2, Biscuit will get replaced in a fucking heartbeat. 1,000%. Biscuit is more important than many people say. I do agree it is still very important because it's still healing. It's still pushing damage. I will completely agree with that. But by comparison, like, all the decks up here are only running one copy. Like, clearly that's not the main selling point of Biscuit is, oh yeah, she can burn 4, which is fucking fantastic. She can heal, which is fantastic. 1,000%. Because I think because you could possibly do it multiple times. Yeah, because you can early play her. She has Encore, so she stays on the field and everything. You just keep her on the field. So you can get multiple heals off of her. And then you can still obviously do, and that's not climax combo dependent. The burn 4 is. So I'm so happy that this is like, people are like commenting and stuff. So I haven't ever had an issue keeping up with the chat. Like, please, y'all yap as much as you want, but I'm so happy that most people are actually talking. I do appreciate. Biscuit is a major part. Listen, I'm catching up. Like, yeah, I do agree. Like, Rico isn't a problem. It's just really funny that of the two, they showed that instead. Like, 1,000%. I own one single hollow OCC card, and it's a shiny chibi Shion. Fair. She is the witchy one. Purely witch marker. Absolutely. Biscuit's mostly on for attack heal if you get a second. Yeah, that's fair. Incidental standby and a burn 4 is fine. Yeah, like I said, it's not bad. But like, every single one of these lists, people are only teching one. Like, it's clearly not their main goal. If they locked a Hololive Weiss set adjusted Advent decks, only they could make it without making the set. I'm going to change your sentence. Could they make it without making the set OP? I don't know. Don't replace the Bow Wow. Amen. Yeah, you have to keep Fu and Moko. 1,000%. I see a lot of variants in the. I mean, I was looking through the list earlier as well because I kind of want to like cook with the deck and make my own take on it as well. You can still make changes to it, and I do agree with that. Card choices all over the place outside of the core. I wouldn't call that copy paste. Yes and no. I mean, like I said, there are variances, but there's a difference in, there's a huge difference in, there's different tech choices with Modernia Biscuit, and there's a whole different thing to be said with, look at all the different kinds of Hololive decks topping by comparison. Multiple different climax combos, multiple different deck setups, multiple different strategies, and approaches to how things like come out. That is variance to me. This right here is options. Talking about a set that has so many options that a ban list typically isn't going to restrict you from playing something else in the set. Versus basically the one Rupee Blanc Noir by comparison. No, totally fair. As of right now, it only has one set for Nikke, and the premium booster kind of did. It added some tech cards. I technically only really counted as the 2, but still. Correct. No, like I said, not every set can be a Hololive. The premium booster sets really just kind of added tech cards. There wasn't that many in the realm of climax combos outside of like Mume. The Mume level 3 was a huge boost. I will 100% agree with that. Fair enough. 90% of the set was very pushed for its size. It did get pushed highly. Believe me, I was part of the problem because me and Moroku bought a whole case of Volume 2. So I definitely helped contribute to the sales. It's a lot more playable cards than almost nearly every other set in Weiss. It does. It has so many sets. It has so many differences in cards, and because of that is one reason why you have this many things, like this many like different decks topping, and now it's starting to get hit. But also, going back to my previous thing to talk about the hits, Where is it? Because I'm a silly bean. It's only getting hit. The 8 standby is the only deck getting hit. That's whatever. Anyway, going back to the thing. I'm just happy they reprinted Laplace Searcher in the second. Exactly. That freaking even that Laplace has come down in price finally. But now there's like 3 different cards with the same motif. 1000%. Very littleable, unplayable compared to other sets. True. Like I said, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you in that regard. So, what would you hit in the Nikkei deck? Just very curious. I would have to mess with the deck more. Like that particular deck, I would have to mess with it more. I would almost say, and this is, like I said, very bold claim, not knowing the deck inside and out just yet. I would almost say you'd have to do a choice restrict. Because you have, like, consistency pieces, right? Like, you would have to do something where it's like, maybe you would have to impact the event in some shape, form, or fashion. I realize my head's probably covering it at that point. Maybe make it so you can't run both Modernias. You know, I realize this doesn't look like Modernia because this is the SR version of it, or the promo version of it, because it's a freaking mech that looks so sick. Let me go find another one. Let me go find another one up in here. That was the top one. Okay, goodness gracious. Here's the other 2 down here. So, we're just going to pull them up. Do you want to kill the deck or love tab? I would rather just love. I would rather see fairness. I don't want the deck to be killed. I would rather see just a love tap to show, hey, we're doing something. I want to see them doing something. 2 choice, 2C1. I'm assuming you mean a choose one of 2. Alice and Sin? Alice and Sin for like a love tap is what you think? Which, so I'm obviously he means the level 3 Alice, because this is huge. Like, this is such a huge card right here. And Sin? I mean, Sin is very big. That would be death. You think like both Modernias getting hit would be death? Yeah, that's fair. Alice. Oh, you're saying that would be death. My bad. I misunderstood. So you're saying like Sin is the hit for that? Like, I could see Alice being this would be one of the cards we pick for trying to kill it. But you firmly believe that Sin would be the alternate pick for that? Oh, Joker, when he says the Laplace Searcher, he means the on death, the Aqua Ricky. The on death Aqua. There was the Laplace that came out first, that I believe it was first. Yeah, because it happened first, and then the Volume 2 had the Aqua, I think. Alice and Sin would be fine as a pick. Sin is the second most important card of the... Are you... I want to look from your perspective. I really do. I don't know if it's the second most... I mean, I would agree with you. I feel Alice is probably the most important card. Like, 1,000%. Yeah, even Yami agrees with you on that one. I do feel Alice is the biggest card in here. And that would probably have to be one of the cards on some kind of a choice restriction if it were to get hit. 1,000%. I haven't played the deck enough to agree with you just yet if it's Sin or not, but as I play the deck more, I will have to take that into consideration. Let's see. Sin is the second most. Sorry. Joker thinks Alice and Sin would be fine as a pick. No. See, why switch? I'm on the same page as you. I was thinking something to do with the level 0 Rappi. I legitimately was kind of on the same boat as you with that one. See, girl, this is why we click. Hell yes. Like, I would almost, like, honestly, like Alice and Rappi, maybe? And once again, even that, I don't think kills the deck. I think it just it's trying to slow down that consistency. Because for the Rappi, for people who don't know, obviously you still got a little bit of hand filtering. On play, if you have 2 or more other Nikkeis, draw 1, pitch 1. That draw 1 is kind of in the same similar boat as, like, you're filtering out. So, like, oh, I have a standby target in my hand. I have a 2/2, or I have something else in my hand. Sin, I have guilty, or something of that nature that I can't hard cast. Let me pitch it for whatever off the cost of this. But I still draw. Maybe I draw into a climax that I can play. Maybe I draw into something else that I can play. Whatever. Cool. But then the bouncing back to hand and giving 2 of your level 1 Modernias the on attack Crush effect, which is the choose which card you want to pick as your trigger. is kind of major, because then you just always pick whatever the higher level card is. You have a chance of it being, if it's a level 2 or higher card that you reveal for the Modernia Climax combo, that equals extra stock, as well as more options of what you can salvage back from the Modernia effect. 1,000%. You're saying, Bean's saying restricting Roppy in any way targets other decks. Is actually a good question. Is Roppy used a whole bunch for those other builds? Like the Dorothy builds? I know Joker was big on the Dorothy deck back in the day. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going back through. I see where Joker noticed the Aqua Ricky. Because I don't remember seeing Roppy in the Dorothy build. I've known Desmond in the Discord has also done very well with the Red Hood deck. Because he took that. He took that to one regional, but then he took Chainsaw Man to Duluth. But I know I don't remember him. Yeah, maybe he did, and I just don't recall. I don't remember him using Roppy. I don't really know anybody any other deck that's really using that. And maybe that's just because I don't know off the top of my head. I'm so sorry. A light tap to Nikke would be like Jackal Maiden, maybe. Yeah, no, I could see something. I mean, even that's a huge interaction too of, Jackal, just rest 2 backstage Roppy for Brainstorm, and she can still attack because she still gets big. And then they just bounce back to hand anyway, and it's kind of whatever. There's no real reason to light tap a deck like that. Like I said, I don't ever want them to nuke a deck unless it's a huge problem. And obviously there are decks that are huge problems. It's either dominant. It does get the representation. And honestly, in terms of dominance, if I were to go even further back to like teams, which I guess we could do real quick while we're here, deck list, tournament decks. There's so many Modernia Biscuit decks that show up. Like, honestly, anything with Modernia should run. I fully agree that it should. And I guess, like, even for the Modernia Biscuit deck, you're not just, like, you also mean decks that are not limited to just the Biscuit top end or a standby top end like this deck is doing. If you wanted to run another top end like the Red Hood or something else, like, obviously you would want that synergy. I totally agree. Allison Sin are the best options. So Joker actually stands by that on the Allison Sin hit. Maybe add the Trodek Modernia for a 1 of 3. Like I said, because of the event, I would almost question that because it is a anti-damage type deal. Granted, if you use it on the Sim, it thinks both effects go off. Alice 3-2 and Sin 3-2 would... If it was warranted. If it was warranted, like I said, I think a love tap would be understandable if it got excessive. But... So let me go back, if we can go back this far, to Summerfest. So, and this comes from, like, so we do have other decks. Obviously, I said Modernia Dorothy does show up a whole bunch. Modernia Biscuit. I remember Modernia Biscuit. Once again, only 12 players. I can understand where you don't look at that. In a lot of these, like, it shows up so much. Okay, let's look at this. 50 teams. That is 150 players. In the top, for this is just Mexico City. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the top 8 all have a Nikke deck, and 5 of them are Modernia Biscuit. So this is just speculation. It's what Bushi would hit. Yeah, for real. What would Bushi hit is the thing. They would hit something completely unrelated. Let's be real, Joker. Continuing on. Okay, so Canada, 35 teams, so that's Brain, 165 players. Just one Modernia Biscuit, another Modernia Biscuit down here, another Modernia Biscuit there. So 3. Nothing at all in Malaysia. Once again, I have to cough. Please forgive me. Stars. I'm dying. Slowly but surely. We all are. Nikke is fine. Oshinoko and Bang Dream. No. I fully agree. By comparison, Bang Dream was probably the biggest problem of the two. Oshinoko is going to become the new problem, but that's whatever. So I say let it run. Let it run for teams. I don't care. Rosemont, 58 teams, which is almost just as big as the Mexico City one. They didn't really get up to the top 4 other than 1, but 1, 2, 3. So just 3 Modernia Biscuits there. So France is 15 teams. That's only 65 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice I'm almost only count. So 4 of the top 8 has a Moderni biscuit. There was one up here that was like ridiculous. Oh, here we go. Once again, I know people are not going to count it as much because it's only 15 players. But when 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the top 8 is just, you all rocked up with Nikkei. It's just kind of crazy. ReZero is also going to be an issue when it comes. Oh, 1,000% ReZero is going to be a thing. I know, but I also know you're going to be on that as well. Being Wolf. Yeah, like I realized. Yeah, it was a lot. It was heavily represented in trios, but so was Chainsaw Man, like with the Himeno Aki, and that warranted a hit because that was just freaking insane. When did Bang Dream come out again? It specifically has to do with the Ave Musica set. I would have to look and see when that came out. I just don't recall off the top of my head. I'll pull that up in a little bit. Let me see. Let me finish this thought, and then we'll continue on through. Like I said, I understand Jakarta is not going to be as big of a one here. Irving, Texas, 41 teams. That is Brain. Oh, so no, with the I can't. So that's 205. Like I said, I can't count. I multiplied that by 5 for some fucking reason. What the hell? Times 3 is 123. Cade Brain is Dedge. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of the teams in top 8 had it there. Toronto 1. Let's see, 2, 3, 4. This had the Rapi TD finisher. Awesome. 5. So 5 of the top 8. Just saying. It's had the representation. It's absolutely had the representation. That's the thing. I skipped over that, but also because it's 23. 28 teams. Oh, shoot. I mean, that started... Oblivionis Dolores started back, obviously, in way further back. I didn't even realize that. Because, look, just the first 3 teams all have Oblivionis Dolores. Holy crap. I forgot about that. Anyway, I think the point has been made, and we will hold off on that for now. Let me see. Product. See all product. Let's see, new stuff. Yep, August. Yeah. Let me see. When did Ave Musica come out? Internet isn't... The Bushi site just doesn't like me. There we go. July 18th. So, less than a year old. It's going to be a year old. Funny enough, that is my birthday. July 18th. Mark your calendars. Kidding. No reason to mark your calendars for that. Point being, that is like a lot of the stuff that was run was the Ave Musica cards and everything. Because Bang Dream itself is like... I mean, it's pre-COVID. Godly, when did that come out? The original stuff came out, I want to say 2017, 2018. Actually, 2018 sounds correct for that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But yeah, the new stuff, less than a year old. Less than a year old. So, totally fair on that one. So, anyway, let's continue looking at the other decks, because like I said, I could easily talk about a lot of these. I could easily yap about the Overlord stuff being just absolute kind of BS here. So, since... Bushi content, you right. So, let's look at the different decks that went. I did reach out to Cell. I don't know exactly how to pronounce the name, so please forgive me. I wish I could convert all the Weiss community to... What? What is it? I don't even know what that is. Now, that's got to be an innuendo. It's proven difficult to even directly coach people to high competency. Yeah, there you go. Door standby Nikkei. No, that's fair. Like I said, I want to mess with the deck more. I want to mess with more Nikkei stuff in general. But also because it's a set that hasn't been hit is one reason why I want to kind of mess with it. But at the same time, it's to me. So the end point that I'll say for that, and then we'll start looking through the actual decks, because I made a point about Cell. It's funny that there are decks with less representation than it that are getting less represented deck types of it that are getting hit on the ban list. Meanwhile, it is not. That's the point that I'm trying to make at the end. At the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to say. So, Mostly because I loved playing Hololive. I really loved playing Hololive, and I was wanting to play several different things for it, and, there you go. Anyway. So, I did reach out to Cell, and I have not heard back from them just yet, but, Jabby? Yeah. You said that, and all I could imagine was, Ayame. Oh, not Ayame, shit. What is her name from Hololive? Oh my goodness. Foxo. Why can I not think of her name? I'm trying to think of the Fox girl. I know that doesn't narrow it down. I can't. Fubuki, thank you. I was trying to think of Fubuki who's just going yappe. But that's all I can imagine. I did reach out to him. I found him on the main Weiss Discord, and Koyori. No. It was Fubuki is who I was thinking. Plus, Koyori isn't a fox. She's Coyote. She has I'll have to see if I can find that clip and send it to you later. But I did reach out to them. Maybe they're still recovering or trying to get back from Japan or something. I don't know, but they either that or they just don't want me to interview them. But I did ask, reaching out to see if I could interview the new world champ and everything. But sadly, that is to no avail just yet. It is all good. They're probably like, ooh, Cade from base damage? No, why would I do that? Anyway, let's take a look at their build. Also, Switch, if you're still here, I want to talk to Jim one day. I need to message them. I just want to give, let's just go ahead and give credit where credit is due. Yes, Oshinoko won at the end of the day. 1,000%. But going into top 8 cut, Gem on Ruby was the only deck to get 6-0. Was undefeated going into top cut. I just want to say he seemed really depressed about winning with a cookie cutter list. Okay, now I want to talk to him even more. I kind of like that. I shouldn't like that he got depressed. I don't mean that I like that he got depressed. I like that mentality. I mean, obviously anybody would just be happy with winning, but he wants to win with something that's not cookie cutter. I kind of like that mindset. I don't know. But I just want to give credit where credit is due. Gem was undefeated, and then obviously she lost the first round of top cut. Very sad. Stream, hope you feel better. Thank you very much, Switch, for dropping by. I do greatly appreciate you. Hopefully Discord fixes itself. Oh no, you have an ear. I'm so sorry. I could complain to you very much about ear infections. I had those really bad when I was a kid, so I understand your pain on that one. So that is one of those pains that just turns me into an absolute baby. I cannot function if I would get an earache or something when I was a kid. I was just dead. Oh my goodness. So no, Weiss Switch, I hope you feel better. I do get you some rest. I will hit you up later and talk to you soon. So, oh my goodness. But yes, no, I just think that's so cool that Ruby was undefeated going into the top cut. Obviously, she lost in the first round of the top cut, which is sad, but I would have loved to have seen her go the distance, even to semifinals or something with it, but sad, cannot happen. But let's take a look at the Oshinoko list. Well, we're not going to say that deck name, I'm just saying. We have... So for those who do not know what the Oshinoko deck list is, let's just look at some of the Climax combos. I actually want to talk about the Advantage engine first, just to point it out. Obviously, we have the level 1 Kana Arima. It is 1045 during your turn. If 3 or more other Showbiz characters gets 2500. So that's going to put it at Brain Math 7. And then the Climax is a salvage. Also, just really freaking cool art for that. It's just, when the yanderes attack, let's be real. The Climax combo is on attack if Superstar's acting is in your Climax area, 3 or more other Showbiz characters. Look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 Showbiz character amongst them, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, put the rest in the winning room. If the character you chose is level 2 or higher, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck and put them on top of your deck in any order. I remember seeing this in my first impressions video, and I was like, hey, yo, that's kind of strong, not gonna lie. Like, being able to then just top check, push some stuff further down. You get to pick what your triggers are going to be, obviously. That's kind of insane. Like, I'm going to be real. Like, that's actually kind of... Because you could even use, like, maybe the first one or two to grab, like, another level 1 or a level 0 for stuff. Or if you just want to go ahead and start grabbing your in-game combo pieces, you could just keep doing that, like, top check 3. Okay, I see what my triggers are going to be, da-da-da. So, that's kind of interesting for that one. I do like that. So, then the climax combos, we're actually going to talk this one first. This is able to change into the other level 3. So, on play, draw 1, choose another showbiz character, give it 2k power till end of turn. So, it replaces itself in hand, which is very nice. Selection and ordering feels so strong in Weiss. No, it really does. It really does. And that's kind of the thing, like being able to, that's one of the reasons the level, the crush effects are always so big. The being able to pick what your top, or what do Weiss call it? Sniff effects. And I think that's what she had told me. Since she left, I cannot confirm this. She would call them, says that over in the UK, it was called sniff effects. And I'm like, I kind of like that more than just labeling it after crush. That's whatever. But being able to see, being able to pick what your triggers are going to be. Being able to look at the top 3 and choose the order of what they're going to be. Or any number at that point. 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. I don't think there's any in the game that do 4. I don't know why I said that. All of those effects are kind of crazy. I'll agree. When the climax gets placed, you can sack this. If you have 2 or more other showbiz characters, if you do, then you can sack it. And then choose the level 3 Akane we're going to talk about in a minute here. Put it on the stage position that this card was in, and that character gets 1500 power and the following ability till end of turn. During this card's battle, your opponent cannot play events from hand. They can still do normal backups, but you cannot do re-zero supremacy. I see. They can't play money counter events. They can't use the Modernia events. They can't use Darkness Plan. Obviously, people are probably not going to know what that is this day and age. So it lets you summon this particular level 3 Akane. It's a 329k. And it's also, sorry if I'm butchering the names. Once again, my sinuses are kicking my ass, so my pronunciations of stuff are just going to be horrible right now. She gets 500 for each of your showbiz characters. So full field, she's an 11. Then with the pants, she is a 12. It is a pants, right? Yep, it is a pants. Also, sorry, I got a cough again. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah, Joker's going to be all over that, like, bro, it's going to be re-zero effects. Always. Not sniff. Sniffa. Anyway. When this card attacks, if your hand has 5 or less cards, and you have 2 or more other showbiz, you can pay 1, pitch 1. Perform the following action 3 times. Put the bottom card of your opponent's deck in the waiting room. If it's a level 0 or lower, burn your opponent for 1, then put up to 1 card from the top of your clock into your waiting room. For one, like, just being able to heal that much is kind of nuts, but also just being able to do that many instances, like, of just burn one over and over for just a pay 1, pitch 1. Let's be real, that's kind of crazy. Like, that's very, very strong. That's very, very powerful. Now, I will say I'm not completely up to date on all the different tech options and everything in Oshinoko. Maybe I can get someone in to explain it more one day. Like I said, even if I could just get the world champ to also do an interview or something, we can discuss a little bit more on the intricacies of it. Even if they obviously didn't like a cookie cutter build or something. The fact that they still won with it, obviously there's other stuff that I just was not aware of at the time that Worlds was going on. Early play, assist. I'm just trying to look and see. Ooh, it can grab back climaxes very easily. That's very nice. See, free play could also just get banned. The free play. Oh, yeah. There's another card in here. That was a big one. Yeah. Which one was that? Was this one? Yes. So that's a very good point, Yami. Like, that's a very, very good point. So this was one of the tech pieces, because you could just, like, you could field a whole board for this. It's kind of insane. Field a whole board of the Akanes just from, like, multiple copies of this. So an act of put 1 card from your hand in your waiting room, put this into your waiting room. Choose a showbiz character with a level equal to or lower than your level and put it on the stage position this card was on. For regular helmet cost, which you do have to pitch, is pitching cards from hand, which for this effect, you need to have 5 or less cards in hand. So it benefits you greatly. And you can summon either of these. Like, obviously, whichever one, like, if you feel that your opponent's going to have the events, you could obviously just, like, summon, this first to be able to give the Akane the anti-event effect and everything. That's totally fair. So yeah, like this was, I do remember seeing this a lot when everybody was on a feature match showing this off 1,000%. So this was really huge. I think this was from set 1. No. This is not set 1. I'm so sorry. I don't think it is. 107 versus. No. Okay, so this is that says 121. So that is definitely a different. Yeah, so it's like set 1. I'm trying to think of what else, because I know this was the Aqua Ricky. Haha. I know it's not the same thing. It's just his name's Aqua, and it is a Ricky. Oh, it also has just a helmet in general. And it lets you mill. Okay. Cool. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other crazy tech options other than just Akane.deck. I think this Aqua was supposed to be. This lets you filter. This lets you get the level 1s. And it lets you power pump something. That's pretty cool. Blade. Blade? You said that and all I could think of was Blade from Honkai Star Rail. I'm like, what? This makes the early play insane and also the finisher. So yeah, that's fair. That's fair. 2-1. Oh, this one. Got you. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Okay, so 2-1 Blade. For the middle position of your center stage, it gets big. Literally, full field could get 12k. Place on stage from hand. Look it up to 4 cards on top of your deck. Choose one climax amongst them. The rest, put it in your hand. Put this one card in your hand. Choose one card in your hand. Put it into winning room. I got you. So dig up to 4 for a climax. And if you did grab a climax, you discard. If you don't, you don't have to discard. So that's actually, that's actually huge. Considering it's not bark. Right? And Pants also does let you possibly get stuff back. But, obviously you're trying to dig for these. Like, that's totally fair. Very fair. Very strong there. And then what were you? Just does some stock shenanigans and tries to get buff. Okay. Backup that gives -1 soul. Okay. And then a memory kick anti-change. Understood. I gotta cough again. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. But okay. So, like I said, I would love to be able to talk to Cell and do an interview for them and talk about it. Like I said, if they're also of that mindset that was like, dang, I wish I could have won with a better, like what they felt would be a better list in their opinion instead of just like a cookie cutter build. Like, I actually very much respect that, and that's totally fair. I'm not gonna relegate too terribly long on like the other Oshinoko builds or whatever. I will just, and obviously I'm not gonna go over every single Bang Dream deck. I'm just gonna kind of show it off real quick. I feel everybody's seen this enough. We don't really need to talk about this, but so terribly much. Granted, I will admit that it is obviously it's gonna be all the same Oblivionis, but we do have 2 different top ends. One's the Dolores and one's the Tomori. I feel that's at least warranted to say. Shout outs to everybody who played and topped with them. Totally cool. Like, whatever. You can also tell that there was a lot of people that just said, okay, cool, I'm just not going to Fumio, and I'm just screw Buns for luck. I'm just going to keep using the consistency piece of the level 1 combo and keep the Sakiko that does the change. That was kind of a big thing that I did want to mention, was the fact of, after the restricted, for those who didn't know, this is what happened with the restricted list last time. Let me put this into big screen. It's a different art. This is the higher rarity. It's the SR version. Pull that back. This is that card, and they're like, fuck it, we're just gonna keep with this level 1, like 1,000%. And I'm like, Like, at first I was like, maybe they'll keep the buns for luck and then just use, like, there's a level 0 that's a helmet. I don't see it in here. There's a level 0 Oblivionist that's a helmet that you could also just use and then just cycle your level 1s that way. But they're like, okay, nope, screw it. I don't even want to use the event. We're just gonna max Sakiko. Like, you know what? That's fair. Not gonna fault there. All right. The one dude who probably got the most screen time at Worlds, Voodoo, was on Saikano. This was kind of funny to me because I'm so sorry. I don't like, and this is from doing all the tournament reports. 8 copies of level 1 combo is default. Agreed. 1,000%. It's just really powerful. But I'm also used to, in other sets, I'm used to just using a helmet and just cycling the level 1s that way. Saikano, okay. That's what I feel. That is what I feel. Is Saikano felt like it came out of nowhere. Like I said, shoutouts to Voodoo. He went the distance. Like, honestly, that was like really, really cool. But I will be real. I didn't know half this shit existed. And from doing the tournament reports, I don't see Saikano pop up that much. I would see it every now and then, and I would be like, oh, hey, cool, Saikano. But that was kind of it. It was just kind of an in-passing thing. You want to know the thing that surprised me the most, for those who haven't watched the World stream or anything, or any of the videos for it? They have a fucking anti-salvage. I'm sorry, I started in the era that, like, Kantai was meta. This freaked, like, I say freaked me out. I don't want to say freaked me out, but I also played, like, freaking, oh my goodness, what else was it? I mentioned it earlier, and I can't think of the damn name now. Bunko Shadow Buff. Nah, you're right. Which we'll talk about the Fujimi stuff as well. I may have to get Dal in one day and actually talk about the Fujimi stuff. I mentioned it earlier. Two Love Rue. Two Love Rue was also had an anti-salvage, but typically any deck that's ever had anti-anything, typically, not like, obviously anti-salvage has always been like a big thing. Those decks have always been some kind of meta thing. I didn't even know this existed. But then in the Discord call, watching the World's live streams, I'm like, between this and GGO, the Gun Gale, it wasn't GGO that topped, was it? No, there was another GGO that happened in one. Oh, it was Elio. It was Elio, specifically this one, because I remember seeing Elio and going, "Ha, Honkai Star Rail reference." And I was like, "Oh wow, I really don't see these decks that often." People were like, "Yo, we see them all the time. I see GGO all the time. I see Saikano all the time." I'm like, "Really? You do? Okay, cool. You know, to each their own. Totally fine." I just did not know that this set had anti-salvage, let alone just like how strong it was. Like, this was, I agree, this was kind of the sleeper hit. Pardon. Trying to make certain I don't cough at the mic. Just bring out the Bunko with Haruhi so I can use the anti-brainstorm plus Haruhi standby. Right? What? There was a Bunko. Yeah, there was a Bunko set with Haruhi, right? I forget. I forget which of the, because there's like Fantasia Bunko, or Fujimi Bunko, Fantasia Bunko, Dengeki Bunko, or Fujimi Fantasia. I know there's like multiple Bunko things. I don't know which ones that Haruhi falls under. Like, Haruhi's another like crazy thing that has like some crazy anti stuff, but the rest of the set's kind of meh. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's big enough to have hits still on the ban list to this day in JP. Just saying, this is legal in English. Just saying, but it's banned in in JP. So I probably should just go ahead and talk about the stuff. So once again, we'll go over the climax combos and everything for the Saikano deck. Since I'm already on the level 3, we might as well just go ahead and talk about that, and then I'll talk about the advantage engine, which is the Utaha over here. So the 3-2 Hanging Out Together Megami is a 9/5. Place on stage from hand, put up to 1 card from top of your clock into waiting room, so heal 1. If you have 4 or more other game characters, you can put it to stock instead, which is honestly very powerful. That's really crazy. On attack, if the climax is in play, and you have 2 or more other game characters in memory. Specifically, it has to be game characters, but at least for this, they don't have to be like different names or whatever, because sometimes you'll see that restriction as well. Which is pay 1, pitch 2. If you do, deal 3 damage to your opponent. Put all level 1 or higher cards revealed by this damage into your opponent's clock in the revealed order, even if the damage gets canceled. So the greatest feeling in the world is when this damage happens and the 3rd card is a climax. It still all sticks, which is just kind of crazy. That Hari Ban card. Right? Exactly. Everyone's like, it does what? Which obviously I realize like that even that event kind of depends. It's kind of going back to the discussion earlier of it really, really depends. So for those who don't know what we're talking about, this is an event that's a counter event that says send your opponent's climax to waiting room. Which is just nuts. Depending on the deck that you're going up against, there's a lot of decks that kills them 1,000%. So it's just, no, you don't get to do your climax combo today. Be gone. So anyway, sorry. Going back to the second. Yeah, I just wanted to agree with Roll there. I was like, yeah, that is actually like kind of crazy. So like I said, it feels basically all the damage is like that would be dealt is going to be taken. They're gonna eat it no matter what. And it's the like even if it's just the top card that gets revealed is a climax, it stops there, but they still take that 1 damage. It's the best feeling in the world if you go 1, 2 climax and it's like, well, 3 guaranteed damage despite the fact that it would have stuck, which is just honestly kind of crazy. Like that's really cool. So Voodoo went the distance with that. The level 1 combo, I'm not going to sit here and read out the entire thing. At the end of this card's attack, sack the climax, look it up to 4, choose up to 2 game characters, add them to hand. So you get to add 2. You get to sack the climax, which is this one. Oh, no, it's this one. Best incident. So it's on a gold bar. There you go. The funniest thing was obviously the title of it. Which is crazy there. Now, where was the other one? He put, don't mind me, I only had 3 legal level 3 bars with me. He didn't have enough for the top end, so he had to put in just a regular salvage. There's nothing that combos with this in the deck, I don't think. Let me double check. This... Nope, that's Days of Encountering Destiny. And that isn't in the deck either. So, nope. All right. P3 exactly. Also, hello Phantom, how are you doing? Yes, it has this exact same combo. There's an Akihiko that has this exact same combo, but you don't see people running P3. Sadly, you know what? Let's take a quick peek-see down here. I doubt it, but nope, I don't see it up here. Also, that the Psychono, it was just the one Psychono player rocks up and is just like, "What's good with you?" There's 2 GGO people. There's 1 Fairy Tale, the 1 Hololive, 1 Don Don, 1 Chainsaw Man. Anyway. But let's get back up here to the top 8. So yeah, just really cool there with Psychono. Shout outs to Voodoo. Hell, I'd love to talk to him as well. I would love to talk to any of the people up in here, obviously. I know there's like 1 or 2 that don't want to talk to me, but that's whatever. Honestly, at this point, between Cell and Jim, I don't know who I want to talk to more, because I freaking love Ruby. Me and Husky Ninja are some huge fans of Ruby. And didn't mean to click that one. For some reason, when I'm using the scroll wheel and I have to, I can click on something with the scroll wheel and it will pull up another tab. Sometimes it'll slip. Anyway. And then obviously we'll talk about the Fujimi 8 standby and then we'll move on. It's also getting on 2 hours and I do have to return a phone call because something happened. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to end it here in probably the next like 10 minutes or so. So we will quickly go over these real quick. Like I said, I know there's some people who just don't play Ruby. It's whatever. Let's see. So this is the 8 standby version. She's on the Crow. Totally fine. The Crow, basically it's a mirror copy of Nino from Quince. And then the Ruby Rose. This is really funny because of the the other level 3 that, Ruby that combos off the same Ruby's Awakening. If you have 2 copies of this particular Pyrrha in memory, you could do the Climax combo, which is when Ruby's Awakening gets placed, you can rest this, meaning you shouldn't be able to attack with it, right? Anyway. If you do, deal 3 damage to your opponent, and then choose a level 3 or lower character facing against her and put it into your opponent's clock, which is just really good, really nice damage there. Then the new level 3 from the premium booster says you get to do some wibbly wobbly timey wimey shenanigans here, because you can stand characters, you can burn your opponent, you can do a lot of stuff, right? Because typically when you're able to play these and you rest them, that's when the climax gets played. So then afterwards, then you could summon something off the standby. Then at the beginning of tack phase, you could use this particular level 3 Ruby, if you summoned it off a standby or if you had one already, to stand other characters, and then you could still re-attack with the Ruby. You could still get basically 3 attacks off after already burning them and clock shooting them multiple times, which is crazy. Gotta go. All right, Phantom, thank you so much for dropping by, man. I do greatly appreciate it. Have a good one. They use the Haruhi that cost 1 and does 1 damage if they reveal. Exactly. Insane. Let's see. So just, like I said, really good, and since I'm now kind of crunched for time, it is kind of sad. So, let's see. Then lastly, we're just going to take a quick little look at Fujimi here, and I'm going to call it for this stream. So it's shorter than my previous ones. Obviously, I've done 9-hour streams for Worlds. But honestly, I say I would really love to talk about this more with Dow, because I feel Dow could give me a little bit better insight on this. It is a 8 standby list, and British Steve was on this one. The multiple combos, let's see. Date. The date one is date a playback. Let's see. Oh, okay, so you just get to sack the climax to stand her. Totally understandable. It doesn't get as big as the Nino, but it still does what you need it to do. You don't have the climax for this, which is First Friend. You don't run that. And then it's the other one here, which is... What is the name of this? Student Council's advances are far from over for the Kurimu. Placed on stage from hand by the... Oh, it's one of these. Okay, so this is basically very similar. It's not the same, but it's very similar to the Aru from Blue Archive, where if you summon it off of the standby effect, whether that is playing a standby during your climax phase or during the trigger step if you trigger a standby. If this gets summoned off of either version, you can pay a cost to stand her, which is insane. So, very strong. And I've wanted to do some cooks with that with Blue Archive, but also Blue Archive did not end up doing too terribly well. But that's whatever. Also, shout-outs to anybody getting the higher rarities of the Fujimi rarities and stuff like that, because oh boy, I've seen some of them price tags. It be crazy. But yes, I will need to get going in a little bit here. I didn't expect to stream today. I would like to stream and talk more stuff maybe next week or something. So if anybody wants to tune in for something like that, I'll try to figure out what day next week. But I also have to prepare for an event that I have next weekend. So between trying to get stuff ready for that event, between trying to get videos ready next week and all that, I'm going to be trying to get a lot of stuff done. I will try to see if I can stream sometime early next week, probably like Monday or Tuesday. We'll see. But yes, trying to think of any other closing stuff. Like I said, I want to go over a little bit more stuff another day. Like I said, I kind of want to see what the one of decks were showing up. You know, the Bochi, the GGO, there's like 2 people. The Kobayashi Maid Dragon. I would love to look over a whole bunch of these because we knew several of the people who were going to be there. I do want to see that. Thank you for the stream. I do greatly appreciate it, Yami. Thank you for swinging by. I do thank you. Also, my voice is trying to go for some reason. So, like I said, sinuses are just kicking my booty. And I honestly think everybody who stopped by is just really cool. Oh my goodness. Like I said, I want to get into like doing this more and streaming more and talking about stuff. And obviously with this was more than warranted. I was not planning to do this today, and then it's like shit. So, well, we kind of have to. And at first I was just going to record a video, then I'm like, nah, I want to stream. I want to do that. So, especially because I don't know what I'm going to do about the first impressions video that I recorded. So I may just have to re-record that entire thing. I don't know. So, at least it's for an extra booster. It was a very short set. So, we'll end it on this. So thank you all very much for everyone who stuck around this far. I do greatly appreciate it. I guess I have to give the typical. I don't know about the YouTuber outro. I'm just gonna end it. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe and stay based.